What we have here is a solar USB, basically off-grid lighting solution. So this has a built-in light, 2 brightnesses, has a USB port. This is a solar panel. You put that outside to charge it up. You can also plug it into USB to charge it up. And it has 3 ports here that you plug in 3 lights. It comes with all 3 lights. I have currently misplaced them. I was playing around with it, and but you plug in the 3 lights. They're not super bright. I'd say they're equivalent to like a 30 or 40 watt bulb, but they're nice long wires. You could spread them out so you can light up an entire room with this configuration, and it should go about 4 hours, maybe 5 hours on battery power. It's a 42 watt hour battery in here, not much battery power. You know, neat little box. I'm wondering, can I upgrade the battery in this? So I just might have to open this up and see if there's any kind of upgrade potential, because they do make a larger version of this. Here's the inside of the unit. Supposedly these cells hold 42 watt hours. I'm kind of disappointed by the panel. Apparently this is a 5 watt panel. It looks like a very well built panel, PET covered, not epoxy encapsulated, aluminum frame. Pretty nice panel. A couple of downsides that I've seen to this. I would like to see them either have a way of mounting the panel to this at an angle. It's like a slot to put it in when I stick it outside, or have a, you got the holes for it, have a little, most of these solar panels have a little bracket attached to this that folds, and that would allow you to sit the panel up and set it up outside on its own little like leg, so it'll sit up and charge properly. I also am disappointed by the size of the panel. Assuming you get 8 hours of very good sunlight, you'll get 40 watt hours of capacity. So this solar panel is barely large enough to charge this battery in one day under optimal conditions. Most of the time we don't get optimal conditions. I'd like to see this include a 10 watt panel. A 10 watt panel could fully recharge this in about 4.5 hours, or about 8 hours if you have less than perfect sunlight, meaning you'd be reasonably expected to be able to recharge this within one day. It does use a plug to plug in the solar panel, so you could upgrade the solar panel, but at this price point it should come with the proper solar panel. So I'd like to see this be a 10 watt solar panel. These are, they do look like standard cells. They're a little weird. They look like they have bolts attaching them, which is not something I've seen before. So this is definitely running in parallel. So it would not be that difficult to add more cells to this parallel array. Just add more batteries and attach them to these lugs, your positive and your negative. These are 32650 cells, which is a standard size cell. And there's obviously nothing else in here. This is all empty. So you have plenty of space to expand the battery capacity. But remember, you are still limited by your recharge capacity. So if I double the capacity, I could probably still use that double capacity in one night, and it will take 2 days to recharge on this panel. So going to want to upgrade the panel. I'd like to see them include a 10 watt panel. This pops off. You can see it's a plate. It's all holding it together. Sticky tape in there. Nuts and bolts goes through here. There's a cover panel here. The nuts sit inside the recess on the bottom. I do like the idea of using, instead of screwing directly to the plastic, they're using nuts and bolts. That means this is easy to service, easy to work on, and you're not likely to damage it because you're not stressing the plastic by threading directly into plastic. You're just sandwiching 2 pieces of plastic together, which is not likely to break unless you really crank it down, and you have a nut on one side and a bolt on the other side. Good construction methodology. I do like that. This is your small LED array for when you are plugged in like this. So you can see that is your small LED array there. So it basically comes with 4 lights, the one built in plus the 3 that you plug in. I believe it would drain all 4 of these in about 3.5 to 4.5 hours. This one you can have 2 settings dim, and you do have a 2 amp USB port, so you could recharge your phone. Not a bad unit, could use some improvement. I think the capacity is enough. I'd like to see a little more, but that's okay. This definitely needs an upgrade. I'd like to see them include a 10 watt panel with this so that you have a reasonable chance under most conditions of recharging this in a single day. Because even under optimal conditions, this might not recharge this fully in one day, because you're going to have losses involved in the charging process of probably about 5 to 10%. And then cloud cover, etc. non-optimal placement of the panel. Include a 10-watt panel. I'd like to see them upgrade this to a 10-watt panel. It would also be nice to see this be a little bit more waterproofed for resilience outdoors, and include like a flap here or something, so that the panel can sit like this on top of the unit. That'd be a nice convenient way of doing it. Or at least include a foot on the panel itself so that the panel can stand up outside, because usually this is not an optimal way to place the panel. You really want the panel angled toward the sun for direct facing. Otherwise, not a bad unit. I think it's a little pricey for what it offers. I think if they increase the capacity a little bit, double the size of the solar panel, I think this would be pretty good. I'd also like to see a way of user upgrading this. So provisioning the design of this to allow modules to be inserted to increase the capacity. I think that'd be pretty nice. Maybe sell a second panel with a pigtail to allow me to use both panels and plug into the one socket to give me a 10-watt capacity. Good polycrystalline panel. It's a nice array. I have no complaints about that. Just too small. Overall, not bad. Just need some upgrades.